Because back then, I thought the only type of exercise was running. I thought eating healthy foods meant boring. I thought you had to be all in or you were all out. Come on, I was the one that wasn't supposed to cry, and look at you. And that's why a lot of women are like, well, I want to weigh what I did in high school. And it's like, have you not grown at all since high school? Why do you want to go back there?
Yeah. I would tell her to try and take care of herself more, though, too.
Today we're taking a walk down memory lane, sharing the health and wellness advice we wish we could go back and give our younger selves. Everything from food, body image, fitness, mindset, all the things we had to learn the hard way. If you're starting your health and wellness journey, ever struggled with your self-image or getting it all right, or are taking a stand and want to break free from toxic wellness culture, this episode is for you. Just a reminder, we're not doctors, we're just sisters that overshare about health and hope it helps. Oh, and if you've been helped by our podcast or even have related to it a little bit, please take a second and give our show 5 stars and share this episode with a friend. It lets us know how we're doing and it'll help more women find our show and get the support they need. Well, this one can go a little deep, but I am excited to talk about it. I think we could tell our younger selves a lot of things. I don't know if I told you this before, but anytime I'm at like a conference or something and they do like this little mindfulness bit, which it's not every conference I've been to, but it seems like a larger majority of them, love to pull in like a little bit of mindfulness, like really centering yourself on your why and like what you're doing, all those things. Every time they tell me to talk to my younger self, I can't help but cry. Like that little girl, I picture the little blondie, the little belly, and she's just like so happy and innocent and like giving her a hug. Maybe it'll be Josie someday. It just brings tears to my eyes.
I can't
up a little bit right now.
You're gonna cry this whole episode, Kaylin.
No.
Okay. We'll see. Because it is really a deep topic. Knock it off. Are you gonna cry? Okay. It is really a deep topic. But I thought it would be so fun to do this for episode 10. A fun episode.
I do think so. And I will not cry. I just won't picture myself.
That's absolutely not the assignment. It's what you would say to your younger self. You have to say it, but can you keep it together?
Okay, so I have to picture myself.
I think we're going mostly into what we would tell our younger selves about health and body image and wellness and what that looks like. Because I know we touched on in earlier episodes about growing up with diet culture and then unlearning diet culture. And I think now that was all about the culture surrounding us. And I think now we're going to talk about like just specifically us.
I think if I had to summarize like what I would tell my younger self, like just kind of like a general for almost every stage of life, is that life is about more than what you weigh. It's about more than the foods that you eat. And it's about more than the exercise that you do. Like, those are the least important things about you, and that there's so much more to life than your body. Yes, your body affords you the ability to do things. Your mind affords you the ability to do things. But in the same breath, it doesn't matter how low the number on the scale is. It really doesn't. I saw a reel, I think it was this morning. Maybe it was just like a carousel on TikTok or something. And the girl was like, had in quotes, like, that person just called you fat. And she said, oh, thank goodness. And they were like, thank goodness? And she said, oh, thank goodness. Like, the only bad thing they had to say about me was that I was fat. They didn't say I was unkind. They didn't say I was a mean person. They didn't tell me I was a bad friend. The only bad thing that they could say about me is that I was fat. Thank goodness.
Absolutely. So let's start out with like pre-pubescent age, like I guess elementary school and before that. Now, for me, elementary school, dieting was kind of like, we knew about it. Mom and Dad tried to feed us healthy foods, and movement was a lot because we were always outside, we were playing, we were everywhere. But body image obviously was there, but didn't really kick in until the end of that time frame, honestly. And I really think I started to notice it with the clothes fitting and how they fit compared to my friends, especially with the low-rise jeans uproar of 2007.
I remember, and this is more like Justice Days, and I don't remember what specific time frame this was, but I remember wearing like a 14, 16, and like that was just way bigger than what I should have been at that moment. And like I was very self-conscious about that. Now looking back, like I really don't know like what that looks like size wise. But I do remember being like, oh my gosh, like I should not be a 14, 16. That's like way too big for my age.
Yes. And it's very difficult too because we were both the size of a woman extremely early. It's so funny when we were on my bachelorette trip, we were watching the video of one of my cheerleading routines from when I was about 12, 11, something like that. And I was a giant out there. I really was. I stood up next to these like two girls and it was alarming how much
They were
bigger
like
I
three
was.
feet tall.
Literally. It was so bad. So I think what I would tell my younger self at that age is one, don't worry about it. It's really not that important. And two, everyone's going to catch up. Like, it's going to be okay. The boys are going to outgrow you, even though you look down on all of them right now. And like all of the girls that were like elbow length to you at one point are going to skyrocket over you. Like, it's all good. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not the trajectory for the rest of your life.
Right. And I think kind of like with children, like infants, with babies at Josie's age, they always follow the curve. If they're following their own curve, they're fine. And I think there has to be a cutoff time when we stop looking at a curve, because there comes a moment when everyone, and it's not even like a moment, because it starts from the beginning. Even if they don't follow the curve, everyone's going to grow at their own rate in their own way. They're going to have spurts. They're not going to have spurts throughout time. And like you said, these people that are so much shorter than you, so much smaller than you, like you might have just developed a little bit quicker. And it's not saying there's a right or wrong way to grow. Like we have our own ways and there's a reason for that. But just remember that you're not broken. You're not wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just growing a little bit faster or maybe a little bit slower. And that's okay, because you're not done.
Yes.
You're not going to be done growing for a while, but you just need to take care of yourself. You should not be focusing on what you look like in comparison to others. The only person you should compare yourself to is yourself. And even at that stage, like, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter at all. Now, the next stage, which would be probably middle school-ish time, maybe a little bit of high school, things like that. That's when you have to be as small as possible really kicked in. But that's also when more freedom comes into play. Like, I know for me personally, I was at the house by myself a lot more. And by myself meant sometimes I was eating God knows what because I was hungry, because I was growing, obviously. But I was hungry and I didn't know how to properly feed myself at that time frame either. I remember I would do some diabolical things. I would drink coffee creamer out of the coffee creamer. So sorry to Dad. So sorry to Dad. But yeah, I was drinking that right out of the bottle.
I'm thirsty.
Yep. Diabolical. But that was just middle school Ellie. She's crazy.
I remember middle school Kaylin, which definitely led into like ninth grade Kaylin. At lunch, her lunch was like We'll talk about before we thought we should change things for our appearance and then after. So, like, before it was absolutely like the chicken, were they chicken fingers? Is that what they called them?
Maybe.
No, chicken fries.
Chicken fries. Yep.
Chicken fries with like mayo and ketchup. We don't even need to talk about the soggy crinkle fries. We probably didn't eat those. And then, ooh, like a chicken patty. Could go for a chicken patty with some ketchup mayo action. A ham and cheese dandy. Loved those days. Like, we were just eating at school, right? Mm-hmm. Well, once we could like have more of that freedom, I remember choosing the salad. I would always get the salad that had like the cut up ham and the cheese. I don't remember if there was an egg on it, but we absolutely loaded it up with croutons and we absolutely grabbed 2 ranch packets. Mm-hmm. And then we closed the lid and we shook it all up and kind of made a dance out of it. I remember there was a time, this was bad, this was 9th grade for sure. I opened up the ranch packet. I don't know what happened. It slipped, I squeezed, I don't know. I got ranch everywhere. It was in my eye. It was all over the table. It was over the girls that were sitting next to me. I'm remembering that moment vividly, sitting in the middle of the cafeteria. But that was my lunch. My salad, my ranch, and then I would always get for a snack, whether I eat it at the lunch table or maybe a little bit later in the afternoon before practice, those Welch's fruit snacks. The orange ones. Save those all for last.
You love the Welch's fruit snacks. That's so funny that you say this because in middle school, and it's the reason that our salad crouton bar got taken away. It's because of us. We would get 1 tray completely full of croutons and 1 tray completely full of ranch. And my whole table would sit there and eat it like chips and salsa for lunch. What are we doing? We're crazy. And then the triangle pizza at lunch was so good. I'd get like 2 of those on days that they had it, of course. When I got to high school lunch actually really sucked. So that I didn't really have many options. Honestly, for lunch, I would eat like 2 of the Welch's packs of gummies. Now, they're the big Welch's packs of gummies. They're not like the small, like individual ones. They're the big ones.
Yeah, no, they're like
big old things. I would
big old ones.
Eat those. But then where my hunger would come into play is then I'd go walk to one of the gas stations close to the school. I'd walk there before cheer practice because I was starving because all I had was 2 Welch's gummy packets and probably didn't have breakfast. Like, I don't even know what I had for breakfast. So that's what I mean. Like, I didn't know how to feed myself properly. But there's also subconsciously a little bit that's like, oh, you're not feeding yourself. You're going to be small and skinny. So that time frame was all
which I don't ever feel like happened for us.
No, which now we know why, because we weren't feeding ourselves properly and nourishing our bodies at all. Like, our bodies were mad at us. But middle school specifically, I think, is when it kicked in. Like, you have to be small, but like, I wasn't getting small. I just had the mentality of you have to be small. Now, my movement wasn't as high as like when I was younger, just because then when you're in middle school, I guess we had like practices in school and things like that, but you're sitting a lot in school and then you come home and you sit and you're on your phone or watching TV. Like, sometimes we would still do movement things, but not as much as when we were younger. And dinners, I don't even know what dinners would really be.
I think those were like the hamburger helper pork chop days.
Middle school, when we moved, so we used to live in a house and then we moved between my 7th and 8th grade year and Kaylin's.
I was going into
10th grade. Yeah. So we moved then. I can barely remember a dinner ever in our new house from there.
Not formative years.
Like, barely ever. And we, granted, we had a lot of practices. We were all over, but I really don't know when we were like eating when we lived in that house. And mind you, we lived in that house from the age I was like 12 to 21.
The only dinner I'm remembering right now is like grilled barbecue chicken tenderloins.
Yes, constantly. And they were constantly in the fridge. So,
And I was constantly pulling the little tenderloin, whatever they're called, out.
yes. So we were given proper things, but I would say to that girl specifically, like, one, who cares what people think? Like, where is anyone that had anything to say? Where are they at in life right now? I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Two, I would tell her, eat some freaking food. Eat something of nutrition. Like, put the croutons down. I don't even know what else to say to her.
Maybe you could tell her if you don't like the food at school, ask mom to pack your lunch. Or if you can pack a lunch.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what my problem was. I did like the food in middle school. I remember that. I remember they had a lot better food in middle school than high school, but I'd also say to her, like, focus on doing some things for yourself. Because there was none of that ever. Like, it was never like, let me take a rest because I need it. We were always very active, very on the move kids, where I wish we had more, no, relax, slow down, you need it time in our life. And
It was always work harder,
yeah,
do more.
work harder, do more. Where I think that really started to come into play, definitely for me, the end of high school, but it definitely started my freshman year. For reference, my freshman year of high school, I was at school right in the morning. I don't know, what time does school start? 7:30?
7:40, I believe.
7:40? Okay. I was there then. I was at the school then until 8 o'clock at night with practices every single day at the same exact place. Whole day at school. And then I was actually on, I had two practices after school because I was on a varsity team and a JV team, and the JV team practiced right after the varsity team. So I was just there. I can't even remember a dinner. I don't know what I ate. I think I just ate gas station food.
Yeah.
So I would tell her, relax, chill out, take a breath. You don't have to do 100 different things. It's okay.
Yeah. I think for my middle school self, and I hate this advice because I feel like as a joke it was something that we would tell people like when I was older in technical training school for the Air Force, because it was kind of like, it really was a joke. Like, did we mean it? Yes, but it was also funny and not serious. But like, it gets better. It's gonna get better. You feel like you don't have a whole lot of direction, or that there's so many options for you and things to do and places to go, but like, slow down, take a break. It's okay to take a break, because I think that's when the whole like, not hustle culture, but like, work harder, not smarter was really a thing. Like, we weren't really doing things efficiently. We were just doing.
We came from a very hustle household.
I think I still live in a hustle household.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it takes a lot of intention to not hustle. Because I would say up until I had Josie, I was very much a hustler. And then having her was the reminder that, like, you don't have to. Not that you can retire at this point in your life. You're still pretty young, but you've worked very hard up until now to be able to do this exact thing.
Definitely.
Jumping a little bit ahead, but yeah. I think then next self would be the high school one. And I feel like a lot of what I've talked about so far has been like the high school version of myself and college. And mostly because I was younger for my age. So those do kind of overlap for most people. But going back to the body image thing, like, yes, people are quote unquote done growing per se, but that doesn't mean that where you're at now is where you're going to stay. You're going to learn a lot more. You're going to understand a lot more. And believe it the heck not, you're going to find joy in understanding these things and fueling your body. Because I could tell you, if I was talking to my younger self right now and I told her that you enjoy exercise, you enjoy eating healthy foods, you enjoy vegetables, you enjoy all of these things, she would have been like, you're joking. What do you mean? Because back then, I thought the only type of exercise was running. I thought eating healthy foods meant boring. I thought you had to be all in or you were all out. There were a lot of things that I just didn't know. There was a lot of mindset shifts that I didn't know had to happen, but I think that's just part of maturing. And we think once we're in high school, once we're graduating high school, that we know it all. And like, I get it. We are at a point in time where we know the most we've ever known, but we do not know it all. We will never know it all. And I think being open to that, having an open mind is important. And just understanding that there are so many things that you don't know. You are so naive. There are so many opportunities that you would have never imagined would be showing themselves over the next couple years, if not even shorter amounts of time. So beyond the middle school, just like it'll get better, to the high school version, it would be, just have an open mind. Be open to opportunities with health, with exercise. Like, you might be surprised.
Yes.
Is what I would tell her.
Yes. My high school self, so the end of my high school journey was when I had like my first bigger weight loss, and was very unhealthy and very hustle, constantly in the gym, at school, at practice, barely eating anything. But then sometimes like binging, like kind of like an 80-20 lifestyle, except my 80 was like starvation and working out like crazy, and my 20 was then my normal 20 now, pretty much. And I don't know. I would say to her, I feel bad for her. She just she was very confident, but she also was not at the same time. She came across very confident.
I love that you just said that, because I was reflecting, I don't know when, the other day, since we've been back from your bachelorette trip, and thinking about how grateful I am for our relationship now. Because there was a point in time, and I think it was probably high school-ish time, when I couldn't imagine how we would ever actually see eye to eye. It seemed like everything that came out of my mouth you took as an attack. You had to come back and get defensive. And I felt like I was a bad person because of it. And looking back, like, not that I'm saying I was perfect at all, but I think I did obviously mature a little bit earlier, or started maturing a little bit earlier than you. And I was thinking back and I was like, I just didn't understand, because like Ellie always had a confidence about her, but I also think that was her insecurity. Like, she had so many insecurities that I don't know if she portrayed them as confidence, but then internally, like, she was always acting like people were out to get her. And now where you're at, like, you've matured so much so that we are on the same wavelength, and that your confidence is like actual confidence. It's not like fake confidence like it once was.
Yeah. Like it was very like everyone's out to get me, like I need to have my guard up and show everyone that I'm extremely confident, which I thought I was. I did. Like, and all of my friends, I've had conversations with my friends of like, you've just always been so confident. And I'm like, yeah, I have, but like back looking back at myself back then, no, I was not. So, I don't know. I think what I would say to her is it's not that serious. Chill out, relax. I think I would tell her that she's beautiful.
Come on. I was the one that wasn't supposed to cry, and look at you.
Damn it. Hold on.
You were making fun of me.
No.
That's what it gets you. I'm
I
kidding.
know. Okay. Whew. I tell her she's beautiful, and I would tell her that life is going to be okay. Like, it's gonna turn out okay. Like, just relax, do what you gotta do, get through it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. And I think when we're in high school, we have such a closed, narrow view of everything that's about to happen stepping outside of those high school doors.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that I think get stuck in that. And that's why a lot of women are like, well, I went away what I did in high school. And it's like, have you not grown at all since high school? Why do you want to go back there?
Yeah.
Like, that's such a fixed mindset. And we need to have that open view. We need to be a little optimistic. We have to have a mind that is open to things that we might not have ever imagined to be true, because it's probably out there. Not saying we can predict the future at all, because a lot of things happen that we would have never imagined happen. Just like you never imagined that the Bachelorette trip could have been as awesome as it was, but here we are.
Very true. So then that brings us to like young adult stage of life. So like kind of college, and then just a little bit early adulthood. I had a lot of movement because I went to school in the city, a lot of walking, a lot of dance classes. Again, it was a huge hustle, hustle, hustle to reach your goals. I did do a lot of dieting and slim fast shakes, things like that, which I kind of talked about previously. Body image was hard because every single classroom I had, I don't want to say every single, I want to say 90%. 90% of the classrooms I had a huge mirror in them because they're dancing rooms. So you're constantly looking at yourself. Now, even with my job, I'm constantly looking at myself because I'm standing in front of a mirror all day because I'm a hairstylist. And the body image when I was a young adult in college, I could definitely see. I had multiple classes with where I'm in leotards and dance attire. So you can see how different your body is within different movements compared to the person next to you and vice versa. Like it was a lot. So there was lots of dieting there, but then I got my first apartment within that time frame too. So I had a lot more freedom of eating. So then I did start to like gain weight and everything. And I didn't really notice all that much until COVID times when all the dancing went away. And then I just consistently gained weight and kept gaining weight and was confused and was trying things. And but looking back, I don't know why I was so confused because I know why I was gaining weight now, obviously. But I think I would just tell her to I would tell her to enjoy it. Just enjoy the ride, enjoy being in New York, enjoy the little bit of time you came home and lived with mom and dad again, because it was probably the last time you're ever going to live with mom and dad. Just enjoy that last little bit of being a quote unquote kid before you really entered into adulthood and was completely on your own, I would tell her to not freaking stress so much about 8 a.m. ballet because you're going to be a freaking hairstylist. Like, relax. It's okay. You did not need to be sprinting through the streets of New York City because you were going to be like 15 minutes early to your ballet class. Like, you're okay, girl. Like, it's not a problem. I would tell her to try and take care of herself more though too. Like, have special times just for herself. Have like special days where you just focus strictly on regrouping and mental, personal, whatever care.
Yeah, I love that. And honestly, I wasn't sure what I was going to tell my college self until you just said that. And because I've always been, and you know this, like, I feel like since 8th grade practically, like, I have been in some type of relationship to where I never had the opportunity to, like, be me, find me. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Okay. We got it. We're doing it.
I would tell myself to go and date myself. Take myself out. Go enjoy things. Eat at a dinner table by yourself. Like, just sit with yourself, because I never did that.
This is a rough one.
It's fun. This is a fun topic.
Fun topic.
But on a similar note, when it comes to school, I would tell myself to chill the heck out. You don't need to be the class curver. I don't even know if that's the right term. I was always getting the best grades and pissing everyone else off. It doesn't matter. And I bragged about it. I loved my major. I loved the classwork. I loved the practical application of it all. I would tell that girl, he ain't gonna do shit with this after 2 years of graduating. It ain't that serious.
Chill out.
I think that's the funniest thing of it all. Like, we work so hard and we think that if we don't graduate with flying colors, that, like, we're never gonna amount to anything. But, like, girl, your life is gonna do what it wants. Keep your mind open and don't think that it has to be so black or white. I think that was the biggest thing, that it didn't stop me from doing anything, but it definitely surprised me because I thought that it was one way or another. When it came to college, especially, like, you're going to school for this degree, your career will be something to do with this degree, and, like, it is what it is, cut and dry. And, like, that could not be further from the truth. I think that everything, like I talked about in previous episodes, like, everything that I did led up to where I am now. All right, friends, that's where we're going to wrap up this walk down memory lane. Even though Ellie's video cut out right at the end, we really did cover everything that we wanted to share with you, from our justice sizing days to our high school hustle era and beyond. And can we just pause to say, this is our 10th episode. We are so grateful you've been here with us through these first 10 conversations, and we're really excited to see what's ahead. If this episode resonated with you or gave you something to think about when it comes to your own younger self, we'd love it if you could take a second to give the show 5 stars and share this episode with a friend. And if today's conversation made you think about starting or restarting your health journey, you can find the link to apply for one-on-one coaching in the show notes. I would love to support you. As always, thank you for listening and letting us share our hearts with you every week. We'll see you next week at the Sis Let's Heal podcast.